welcome to another video. So this is the last video on the weight loss series that I'm doing, and in this video we're going to talk about 3 very important things, and this is basically what is going to make or break your success when it comes to weight loss and being successful in the long run. So first of all is your fitness or like your exercise routine, your diet, and then also dealing with other people, okay? So let's first talk about fitness and diet. You're gonna have the same type of mentality when it comes to both your fitness and diet, and my rule of thumb always is, number 1, you want to find a way of eating and a way of exercising that is sustainable, and that also you have to put out the least amount of conscious time and effort while also seeing maximum results, okay? So I'll say that again because I know you're probably like, what are you even talking about? But you want it to be sustainable, so you want a sustainable diet and you want a sustainable fitness plan, and you also want to only be putting out the least amount of conscious effort and time to produce the maximum amount of results, okay? So let's talk about that from a fitness perspective. What does that mean? Well, sustainability, you want to do something that is sustainable for the long haul, not just something that you can grow into as time goes on, but also something that is going to be sustainable from like an injury perspective or a consistency perspective. Like, can you continually keep doing this as time goes on? Is this going to cause injury as time goes on? Is this like a high risk type of activity? Is this even something that you even enjoy? If you hate doing what you're doing, like you loathe it and you never ever want to go do it again, but you make yourself do it, that's not sustainable. That's not going to last. Find something that you love. It can be anything out there. It can be dancing, it can be cycling, it can be swimming, it can be whatever, like it doesn't matter. The second part of this though is that you want to do something that is going to require you to exert the least amount of conscious effort and time while also getting the most amount of results. So what does it mean to exert the least amount of conscious effort and time? Well, those are going to be things that are basically just natural for your body to do, and it's not something that you're consciously obsessed with all the time. So for example, let's talk about walking. That is the most natural physical thing that you can do with your body, right? Like you can just walk. Just about anybody can go walking anywhere, anytime. But the biggest thing about this is you want this to be kind of like an unconscious type of thing, to where you're not obsessed with like your heart rate monitor and how many calories you're burning and all that kind of stuff. That's not where you want to go with this. You want this to be natural and easy. So the way to do this is to just walk more. Just get up instead of watching the TV or the computer or whatever. Get off of the phone, get out of your seat when you're at work and go do some little mini exercises in the corner or whatever. Start taking the stairs, start taking more walks throughout the day. Like just be more intentional like that, but don't be so consciously obsessed, okay? And there's a fine line here because some people are like, oh, I love walking, and then when you find out they're like obsessively like counting their miles, their steps, like everything, and there's nothing like necessarily wrong with that, but it can get to where you are like obsessed, and you don't want to become obsessed with this. You want this to be as natural as possible. So walking is a great thing. Also, I highly encourage everyone who is trying to lose weight or whatever to get into a weight training program. It doesn't have to be crazy, you're not have to be a powerlifter or anything like that, but it will help so much boost your metabolism, increase your body composition, it'll help build muscle, and it'll also help you just feel better. It's really, really good for your muscles to have to go against some type of stimulus that causes them to change. I also highly encourage you to find something that you love to do. Anything that you love to do, anything that you're just like, this is awesome. I love going with my friends to this, like I look forward to it. That's going to be the most sustainable, and that's going to be the most like least consciously effort type of thing, okay? So what I mean is if you're doing something, like I use this example in another video, but let's say that you think that you have to lose weight, you have to go run on the treadmill. So you get on the treadmill and you're consciously obsessed with it, and you look at the time and you hate it and it's just horrible, and you just want to burn calories and all that kind of thing. And it's like literally the worst experience of your life. But if you were to go do something that you actually love, like if you were to go get into like some type of team sport or like sign up for something to do at like a local community center or something like that, and you really, really loved it, well, you're still exercising, you're still burning calories, you're still burning fat, that type of thing, but you love it and the time goes by, you're not consciously thinking about it, and it's just happening. It's very, very natural. And at the same time, you're getting great results. If you are having to do something constantly every single day and like you see that your exercise is lengthening over time to where like maybe you started at 30 minutes, now you're at an hour, now you're at an hour and a half and you're about to bump up to 2 hours just to keep your weight down or just to try to lose more weight, that is the worst thing you could ever do. It's like I said in the last video, weight loss should be easy and effortless. It should not be something that you are constantly killing yourself and putting your body through literally like torture to do. Because let's be really honest, if it's not sustainable and it's not a natural type of thing for your body to do, then at the end of the day, you're really just setting yourself up for failure in the long run. Look at all of the fit, thin, healthy cultures around the world. They're not doing hours and hours of exercise every day to keep their weight down. No, they're not. They're doing natural, sustainable, fun, enjoyable things that they're not consciously obsessed with, but they're still getting awesome results, okay? And that is the goal. That's what you have to find. And don't stress over it. Make it fun, make it enjoyable, get some friends involved, and just have a blast with it. Do whatever you like. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything, but find it and stick with it. Second part of this, we're going to talk about your diet, okay? And this has the same principles. This is the same thing as far as sustainability, the least amount of conscious effort, and the maximum amount of results. So sustainability, if you are on some crazy diet or you're starving yourself or you're super low calorie or you're super low carb and you're just like dying and all you want is food all the time and you're just miserable, that is not going to be sustainable. Maybe you're on some type of cleanse or like juice fast or some type of whatever you're doing, you're taking diet pills or drinking some kind of tea or something, and maybe you've lost some weight. That is so great, but at the same time, it's not sustainable. You can't do that for the rest of your life. So you have to find something that is going to be super sustainable for the rest of your life, not just this, next month or next 6 months or next year, and then you go back to the way that you were. So the second part of this is going to be least conscious effort thing with maximum amount of results, okay? Now, this is where it gets super easy, and this is why I say weight loss literally can be as easy or as difficult as you want to make it, okay? When it comes to your diet, you have to think about it like this. If you were to go out on the street and just start asking people, like surveying them and saying, hey, just tell me an idea, like the first thing that comes to your mind when I say healthy food, what would they most likely say? They're gonna probably say some type of vegetable or some type of fruit or like something like that. Like everyone has this idea of what healthy food is for the most part, okay? There's a lot of different diets and different gurus out there that disagree on this or that, or how much fat or how much carbs or how much protein or how much calories or how much, blah, whatever. But at the core of it, everyone knows that the healthy foods are literally fruits, vegetables, produce, all that type of stuff in the produce section of your grocery. That's basically what everyone knows of healthy food is. And then we can argue and disagree over, well, what about this, this, and this? But that's the foundation of it, okay? And that is where I want you to start with your diet, is you have to build your foundation on produce. Or another awesome way to say this is whole plant foods. Whole plant foods are going to save your life when it comes to weight loss. So what is a whole plant food? A whole plant food is something that has not been touched or processed or altered in any way. It's literally when you walk into the grocery store in that produce section, it's everything out in there. It's the greens, it's the salad mix, it's the vegetables, it's the fruits, it's the potatoes, it's all the whole stuff out there. So instead of eating potato chips, you would eat whole potatoes. So you want that to be the foundation of your diet, okay? Now, from here, this is where everyone will differ because some people will start adding in stuff on top of that, and maybe they'll add in other like plant foods or whatever, but they're not necessarily whole. So maybe they'll add in like some little processed foods here and there, whatever. Other people might add in different foods, like they might add in meat or eggs or whatever, but I highly encourage you to stick to the majority of your calories coming from whole plant foods. And even better would be all of your calories coming from whole plant foods. When you start adding in tons and tons of animal products, tons and tons of processed foods, tons and tons of junk food and all that stuff, just because it tastes good or it's convenient or it's easy or whatever, you're really thwarting your efforts to lose weight and to keep it off effortlessly. Because here's the thing, when you start adding in all of those foods, you really have to start being very conscious of how much you're actually eating, because you can overeat on those foods so easily. But it's almost impossible to overeat on whole plant foods if you're listening to your body, if you don't have messed up hunger signals, and if you're just going with the flow. Because whole plant foods are the only foods, plant foods are the only foods that have fiber. And fiber is going to be a huge, huge helper for you when it comes to weight loss, because it's going to fill you up, it's going to help push out all the bad stuff, and you're going to feel amazing from a digestion standpoint. It's sustainable. You can get fruits and vegetables and whole grains and all that stuff everywhere. It takes the least amount of effort. You really don't have to put any thinking into it. There's no calorie counting. There's no any of that stuff. You just go and you get the whole produce and you just start eating, and you eat until you're full. And then when you get hungry again, you have a snack or whatever and you eat again until you're satisfied. And you just keep doing that, and it's sustainable and it's healthy. Everyone knows what healthy is because it's fruits and vegetables and whole grains and nuts and seeds and beans and all of those type of things. And if that is the foundation of your diet, you're going to be so much more successful. And you're going to see the maximum amount of results without even really having to consciously think about it. You just choose the right foods. Stay away from all the boxed stuff, the processed stuff, all of that, and focus, make the foundation of your diet whole plant foods. If you want to add some stuff in here and there, that's totally up to you, but I highly encourage you to make the most, if not all of your foods coming from whole plant foods. Third part about this that we're going to talk about is dealing with other people, because this is something that can really derail a lot of people, and it's really sad because for some reason there's like this thing about when you start losing weight, you're going to get a lot of different comments, okay? Just like someone who needs to gain weight, they might get some random comments every now and then. But for someone who needs to lose weight, their comments are going to be kind of odd. Maybe you've started losing weight and people say stuff to you and you're just kind of like, oh, like it's a compliment that they said, but at the same time, you kind of feel like, oh, was I really like that overweight that you noticed it enough to say something? Or maybe you're going to be dealing with people who constantly want to bring you down. They're always trying to tempt you or tell you like, hey, you want some of this or some of this or some of this or whatever, like, you know, why don't you just accept the way that you are, or let's go out to eat, or there's always going to be people there doing that. Likewise, there's hopefully some people in your life that are going to be very encouraging. My biggest tip for this, number one, is to surround yourself with people who are encouraging. Get a little group of people that you know and let them know, say, hey, you know, like, I've really appreciated your encouragement this far. Like, I really need some help. I want to be successful this go around, and I would love any type of encouragement or accountability that you would be willing to give me as a friend or spouse or whatever. Like, anything that you could give would make me feel so much better and encouraged. And for those other people who are constantly like bringing you down, or they're tempting you, or they're just negative, or they're making fun of you, or whatever they're doing, be open and honest with them too. And it's okay. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be a jerk, but you can just be like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm really trying to get healthy, and I would really appreciate your encouragement. Just be nice. That's it at the end of the day. And if they're just going to keep going and going and going on and on and on with it, just kind of swallow your pride and just be like, okay, well, you know, I appreciate that, but I'm working on my thing, and hope you have a great day. How are you doing? And flip it around back on them and start talking about them and their life and their kids and everything that's going on with them. Don't dwell on you. Just have your confidence, have your plan, know what you're going to go do, go out there and make it happen, and don't let anyone derail you. Don't let anyone's opinions or your thoughts about their opinions or their perception of you or whatever derail you in any way. This is your life. This is your decision. It's your, like, this is it, you know, like if you made that commitment, you've got those motivational things that you're going to keep reading through and reminding yourself of. You're going to start changing up your diet. You're going to find something that's exercise-wise that you love and you really enjoy. This is your life. This is your health, your happiness, everything, and you can do it. You just have to make the commitment and go for it. So that is the end of the series. I hope that that's helpful for a lot of you guys out there. Trust me, you can do it. It's going to be easy. Just follow the steps. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get obsessed with it. Just let it be natural. Have fun with it, and choose the right type of foods. Do some exercise and enjoy the ride. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will see you next time.